said it's too strong. You said you love me, but it's too strong. You got me crying over too.
Welcome to another episode of the Real Mogul podcast. I'm so excited to be back. 2022. It's going to be an amazing year. It's going to be my year, my season. I'm owning it. And yeah, no, I don't know what to say. I'm very, very excited to finally kick back or get back to podcasting again because I took a very long break, which was very necessary. Then now in January, I took a nice break from social media, which is more necessary, especially because I live on Instagram specifically. But yeah, it was nice. It was challenging. It was freeing, you know. I got to learn how to not just say what I want, but actually implement it. Last year I did say, I spoke a lot about I want to spend more time with myself or put myself first, but the implementation wasn't really there. And I started seeing that this year. I was intentional with literally from the 1st of Jan until the end of it. I'm off social, putting myself first. Even in my engagements, I didn't really just engage in any conversations, just go anywhere. I was specific and intentional about it, and just in a way to feed my soul more, you know. And the biggest lesson, or yeah, I could say the biggest lesson out of all of that was setting boundaries without guilt. My thing has always been feeling guilty about how I make the next person feel. So I'm not just feeling guilty for not doing something, I'm also feeling guilty for how I've made the next person feel. And it should have never been my portion. It's no one's portion. A no is a no at the end of the day. How somebody takes it is their responsibility, right? Yes, I'm looking at my sister. Yes, it's their responsibility and their own baby to nurse. But with that, you learn to do it with ease and without making anyone feel like crap. I don't know. Yeah, just be gentle about it. You be an empath, you know. So that kicked in. I had to learn to be an empath for myself, not just for everybody else, because what I do or what I've been doing for the past couple of years is feel like feeding into others makes me happy, which it did, but at the same time, it took from me, because then I got to a point where I was feeding and giving with expectation of receiving, which is not how it's supposed to go. When you give, you need to give freely. When you do something for somebody else, you need to do it freely. So it got to a point where I felt like I needed the reciprocation, and that's not how I wanted to lead with it. So yes, that being said, it's a lot more. You'll find out a whole lot more of what's been happening throughout the season. I'm excited about season 2 of the podcast. And I have a special guest today. Every guest is special. Every episode is special. And it's amazing. You will get to meet her shortly. So let's get it. Viwe is here. I didn't introduce her, but I wanted to introduce herself because intros are so different and, you know, unique and special. So if I do it, I feel like I'm going to do an injustice. So, hey Viwe.
Hi.
How are you?
I'm good. How are you?
I'm good. It's nice to finally sit with you. And you and I have only engaged on the phone from the time we met, thanks to Capone, Musa.
Yes, thank you to Musa, who I'm still friends with.
Hey Capone! I was just talking to him this morning. Like, thanks to him, and you know, normally when people don't engage face to face, that just fades.
Yeah.
And we bump into each other, and it just feels like, you know, it works
absolutely.
out. So, who is Viwe?
Oh, that's a second time someone's asked me that. Who's Viwe? I mean, who is Viwe really? Like, Viwe is a small town girl at heart who wanted to follow a dream of hers, right?
Yeah.
To sing and to make music and to write. And I guess in a nutshell, like, that's been what I've been trying to do and figure out. You know, I always say, like, I can never really say I'm this one thing. I think I'm always going to be changing and growing, right? So Viwe is always changing and growing and learning, but she loves music. You know, she loves the creation of it. She loves everything, every part of it, really. Yeah. She's a family girl. She's a home girl. Yeah, that is me.
That is so beautiful. I love it. So the thing that I used to do when I'm asked who's Tejo, I'd say, oh, Tejo is a makeup artist, editor. So then I learned, no, you're describing what you do, not who you are. So last year I was like, who am I? Discovering that is just a trip in itself.
Absolutely.
Then I realized, I'm like, oh, I'm a creative. I'm an emotional being. I love people. So that in itself becomes, and it became so crazy that people describe you better than you describe yourself.
Absolutely.
And I was like, sis, child.
I think it's very important that you do have someone you can, believe.
Yeah.
Because sometimes people want to just say the right things just to make you feel good.
Make you feel better.
And I just want you to be real because that makes me grow and then makes me like, that challenges my negative, and my, so we have to learn and we have to grow. And it's, like you're saying, like it's better sometimes, but sometimes you're like, you take it with a pinch of salt. Like,
I love how you describe yourself as a person who is always evolving, who's always learning and growing. Because sometimes you feel like, oh no, this is who I am and this is who I need to be. Like yesterday I was like to my sister, I'm like, do we know what? So I was struggling to phrases as well.
Yeah.
Do we English come to me? So it's a thing of, do you present what people expect of you, or and that's the image that you stick with, or are you constantly evolving? Because I got to a time where I was like, this is who I'm known for, this is what people expect of me, and I think this is who I need to be. And then you literally niche yourself of so many things and exploring so many parts of yourself. Like, is that easy for you to navigate through, or?
It definitely isn't. I think when I was growing up, a lot of identity came from like being quiet, good, and pretty. Those are the three things you need to be when you're a little girl: pretty, good, and quiet. And I think that robs you of any human experience because it gives you this box that you wanna, and you're threading hands.
Beyond it.
And I think the human experience needs full expression. So if you are doing a million things, and that's what you're doing. And that might not be you in 2 years. That might not be you in the next week. But that's who I am. So I think I've been in that trap where I've let other people's words and ideas like cage me into a specific kind of person. But now I'm like, if I'm not happy with what is going on, I need to be able to express that, because it's important that your values and your ideas also live through you, because they can't live anywhere else.
That's
right?
true.
Yeah, so it's a hard one, but I think as I'm growing older, I'm like, actually, what I say goes in my life.
In my life, 100%. That is so amazing. So you say you're a small town girl. Where are you from?
I'm from Queenstown.
I was just there in December.
Really?
Yeah.
What are you doing in Queenstown?
I was visiting my friend.
Who's your friend? I know everyone in Queenstown.
He's actually moving back. He's from Zim, but lived here for years.
And then who? What's her name?
Moswa.
Oh, nice.
Yeah.
Okay.
He's, what's this? This just outside of the town's Queenstown. I can't remember what it's called. But we were there for like a week or so.
Wow.
And it was so nice and chilled. Like the weather was just amazing.
Beautiful weather.
He's moving back now actually to Johannesburg. And I'm just like, oh, this is where you've been stuck for the past 6 years. It's
a small town.
It's a small town.
You'll blink and you'll miss it. Yeah.
Oh my God. So that is very interesting. When did you move to Johannesburg?
I moved after I matriculated, which is 2011.
Wow, that's exactly me. I'm from Bloem.
Yeah.
Moved after matric 2008, and I've never looked back.
Me too.
Ever since.
Me too.
But the challenge is here, and Johannesburg, guys. I always say when you come to Joburg, don't papella this place.
Don't papella this place, guys.
Hey, this place will show you feeling, especially as a creative.
Especially as a creative.
It's just like the experiences we go through are insane.
Absolutely. And everyone knows everybody. And I mean, that's true for most industries, but the creative space is a little bit trickier because people are creative, the boundaries are like blurred.
Exactly.
You get what I'm saying? Yeah.
We're talking about, I was saying now that I'm finally learning to set boundaries. And I don't think I've been able to do that for a long time. Someone asks something, yes. Someone says let's go something,
yes.
Yes. Because you just keep, it's opportunity. And I'm like, no, not always.
Yeah.
And then you just give so much of yourself.
Yeah, and then you end up not really doing anything you want to do or what you want. Like it really deters your own vision, which is why I think being creative in this specific city, I think though it's like supercharged. There's nowhere else you should be creative.
Yeah.
Like you can't be creative in Pietermaritzburg.
No.
Not saying there aren't any creative people.
But it's not the same.
It's not the same.
Yeah.
We're gully. We're gonna go for what we want, and the work is excellent. But I do think like we don't necessarily have boundaries. We end up in someone's dungeon somewhere doing something where you're like,
Why am I here?
I've got to do something I actually want to do, or whatever the case may be, because of the idea of, or the economy rather, of opportunity, which is what really.
Sure. That is so insane. And you look back, you're just like, did I gain anything from that?
Yeah.
Did I win from that? And it's character building, though. It's really character building, and at the end of the day, you get to see who the real people are, or what spaces to grow in. Like when we were at the listening session the other day, I was like, I haven't been here so long. Yeah. The space is so different for me, but it is an amazing space to be in. It's genuine people for the most part, because I'm like, oh, Moremi's here. I was like, hey, good to see Draper. It was just amazing. But then for a certain experience, you end up caging yourself from that because of what Joburg is and what we go through.
Yeah.
And you forget those little quaint spaces and those people that you can grow with. That is intense.
But I'm happy that, we do have the spaces. We are trying to create them. You have a whole podcast, which I think is also another like vehicle to, stay in that quaint space, because success is great as a creative, but it's these little moments. Actually, I always say this to Draper, funny enough. We're in love with the process of making music, in love with the process, even though we want everything else. But the process is where you laugh, it's where you think, it's where you cry, it's where you all of these things that fuel you to reach out and connect with people. They happen in the quaint spaces. You know what I mean?
You get to hear, like, it's nice to be in studio with just like 3 people as opposed to have 10, because then it's not genuine.
Absolutely.
We sometimes hide our emotions so much, and like I was listening to it. Okay, I'm getting ahead of myself. I wanted you to introduce yourself, and
that's where we were. Now we're in Queenstown with Anthony. It's nice. I love it.
Okay, let's start properly. So now we know who Viwe is. What do you do?
What do I do? Wow, that has changed so many times, but
I love it.
Yeah,
I love it.
I used to be a journalist and writer. That's how
really?
we met. Yes, I think that's how we kind of know each other. Because Musa was working for a specific company. So we would always be working together in that capacity. And then I turned into an editor. I was an editor for a news platform. So I love words. I love words. I studied words, up to my honors, media and English literature. So I'm very in love with words. So I'm a writer, editor, but I'm also, obviously, the reason why I'm here is the music. I'm a singer and songwriter. All of my songs are written by me. Well, some of them, yeah. And also, like, I think that's who I am. I think I'm in love with words. Yeah. And I'm in love with the fact that I can express them in different ways. So those are the things that I do. If I can do it in corporate, I feel like I can do it in creative space as well.
I love it, because then words and music for me are godly. So like I said, the 3 songs I heard already, I'm just like, what?
Words, yeah.
It's insane. That is so amazing. So before we continue this, I want to do song association.
Okay.
A few songs.
Okay.
And then you just belt out just a few notes.
The coffee. Okay.
So I'll give you a word, and then you'll just
think of a song.
And
sing it.
Yeah. Away.
Drifting away, drifting away. Whipping away, whipping away.
Lovely. Yes.
I had to plug myself there.
Yes, that is the whole point. Vibes.
There's also a song that I have my own. Okay? You know the vibe, baby. Don't make me lie. Don't make me lie, baby. You know the vibes. You know this fire, baby. Stay on your mind.
I love it. Andiziva.
Andiziva.
Closer.
I just thought of the closer I get to you, the way you make me feel.
Beautiful. I actually took it from Behind the Class.
Is it?
Yeah.
You wanted me to sing it?
I love that
Reference.
song.
Really?
I love that
That's
song.
lovely. That's lovely.
Dude, that's the song that I heard first from you.
Yes.
And it's also one of my favorites. I really enjoy it.
That's
so
dope.
Away I took from Rapture.
Yeah. Really? Yeah. Oh, was it Can I Take You Away? Lovely.
Yes. I love like when I heard those songs, I was like, this is so beautiful, and you articulate it so well.
Thank you.
And it's easy for one to literally connect with the music and feel like, okay, I relate to
I get her, yeah.
I get her, what she's talking about. So I wanted to ask you, Andiziva, you say, how could you not notice? How could you not see?
That's drifting away.
How
Andiziva.
could you not notice? How could you not see?
Drifting.
Is that drifting?
Yes, but it's okay.
Hey, how is the market?
Okay.
So for me, when I heard it, it's like a relationship that is somewhat fading away because you're just not there.
Absolutely.
And now that I'm moving away, you want to come back to me.
Yeah, absolutely. Why must I disappear for you to miss me when I was here the whole time, you know? I do think like a lot of relationships die way before they actually like, you actually say, I'm broken up with this person.
Without having made the effort.
So this drifting is like that middle part where a decision must be made because you don't even care that I'm here. You can't even feel my spirit, my sadness.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? You can be sad around the house and no one's saying anything. Emotionless, and you're not even trying to make me feel better. So I'm gonna leave, and the leaving it drags because you're taking your time.
Yeah.
You really don't want to, but he's not even noticing that you're out. You're tapping out.
Sometimes you notice too late, and then I just can't come back.
I'm packed. I'm in the car.
done.
I've got my new apartment.
I'm finished.
Yeah.
And it's sad because that's a lot of relationships. I read an article. I didn't finish it because it was just so draining. They're like, it's January season, time for divorces.
Jesus.
Like, how do you even anticipate? Because you're like, okay, literally a lot of divorces happen this time. Already 2020, a lot of them came out of that. And I'm just like, I'm not married. I've never been married. I get jolly, but it's like, guys, are you really making the effort? Have you tried everything?
I don't think so. I think there's and it's January because I think there's a specific like energy of December that comes.
Yeah.
I think it's from November to December where people are just like, I'm doing what I want to do with whoever. And then that's why I think you become like, you find that January, like a lot of people are breaking up because when I got December, basically you are February. So
yeah.
And now you want to come back, you want to rebuild, and I think.
And I must be here waiting for you.
Yeah, and I think it's kind of toxic to think about a break from work as a chance to break someone's heart.
Yeah.
I suppose, or a chance to just like do. And maybe it's selfish, but maybe just communicate better because it is sad that a lot of people like break up in January.
And the saddest part is that you break up, and then others feel like, why did we break up again? You don't know. Now you went through this entire process. You are now mourning and you wish you were having to rebuild that again. It's just a mission in itself.
Yes.
So I read that you featured your mom in one of the songs. That was so exciting to see. How was the process?
So my mom was never really the biggest supporter starting out with my music. I mean, when I was doing Young Chaza, she was like,
what is this?
Get a job. And I was working at the same time, so I was like, girl, I am,
Yeah.
But I think I sat her down and I was like, look, I'm going to give it my all. I'm going to give myself 3 years, 4 years. And I'm going to actually do the very best that I can to see where it's going to go. And she kind of believed me.
Yeah.
And I think maybe with what happened with Rapture and Drifting, she was like, okay, cool, I'm on this train. So when we were at home in Queenstown, funny enough, the Ngogu song was playing in my head. And I think me and Lincoln Long, who produced the album, we were like, it would be so nice just to have an interlude or something like that. And I was like, yeah, but I don't want to fake something and be like, yo, my man just called me. Because, again, unauthentic, right?
Yeah.
But who usually calls me and tells me to go? My mother, almost anytime anything happens, she's like, okay, come home. Come home. Let's start again, you know. And as much as it's sweet, like it won't help me do what I need to do. You know, I need
Bless our parents.
bless our parents, you know. So when she did that, like recording, it really came from
A genuine place.
from like she wants to protect me all the time, and I love that. But I also think, you know,
It's not building.
we're here to build, and we're gonna hurt, and we're gonna cry, and it's not gonna be nice all the time, and we are gonna be broke. You can't save me all the time.
Yeah.
So it was really amazing. And every time I hear those two songs, Goku and Goduga, and you know, again, I said my mom starts it and ends it. Like it means so much to me for someone who never really saw it the way I saw it, to be so proud to be on it, and for her to be authentic in it as well. You know, so
That is it's like a 360 change.
Yeah.
So I'm sure now you and your mom have an amazing relationship. You know?
yeah. When it comes to music, yeah.
That is dope because I think back to, I mean, my move to Joburg wasn't easy. My dad didn't want me to move, and it was a half-hearted call, and I had to beg.
Yeah.
I was like, go, but me, I'm
I'm not getting involved, yeah.
And then eventually they understood, they got the hang of it. And then 2012 was another tough time, and I lost my job. The company got liquidated. I was living in an apartment just up the road here in Northgate, and I couldn't pay rent.
Damn.
And they switched off my electricity and water. So it's like 2 cold winter weeks. And my dad's like, come home. I was like, no. He's like, huh?
I
I'm
can't.
like, no.
And be home and what?
And do what? You know? And that's the man, you can't always save me.
Can't always save
Eventually my mom's like, hell no.
You coming
Go
home.
back.
Yeah, it
Got
fits you.
me. And I was like, okay, fine. Got it, go home, recoup, and I come back. Ever since then, I was like, I can't keep running home. Yes, the support is there, I appreciate it, but you know. And then they move with you, they grow with you, and they get to understand, which is such an amazing experience. And sadly, not everyone gets to feel that because you have parents that just let go of you, or they're just not present.
They're not present.
And you have to hustle and bustle by yourself
to get attention.
you know. So it's amazing. When I was reading your press release, I was like, shucks, I can understand this, you know, and the authenticity that you're talking about. It's powerful.
Oh man, thank you.
Yeah. So your sound reminds me of when I was listening to the music yesterday. Sinead Harnett, Sabrina Claudia. Those vibes are like so amazing.
With the soprano a little bit high.
So who would you say is your musical inspiration?
Oh my gosh, that's like the hardest thing to ask any musician. It's like, how do we all, like, even like I was saying, like with parents, like which is your favorite kid? But no, I mean, I listen to a lot of stuff. I grew up listening to a lot of R&B because of my cousins. My cousins used to love listening to, you know, Kim and Kenny Lattimore and Shantae Moore and Janet Jackson. So I had that school. But who I would say is like inspired me, I think Jasmine Sullivan sticks out.
Ooh, love her.
Love Jasmine. Always authentic to herself, which I've always liked. And a singer. I want to say Beyonce. I used to watch Beyonce like a crazy woman growing up. And not really just because of her aura, just because of her vocal ability.
The way she plays with her voice as well.
You know, I used to try every day to mimic that. So you'll definitely, a lot of people would say you have run similar to her just because I have been influenced by her a little bit. And then I think like there's so many, but I have to mention Nina Simone. And the reason why I want to mention her is because I think, again, if you're talking about real stories and we're thinking about authenticity, I don't think it got realer than that woman.
I watched a documentary and it hit me. I was like,
this is woman.
I was like, so when you listen to her music, you listen with so much more understanding to realize what she went through and everything else. Her triggers.
Yeah. She was a full woman and she went from crazy to normal to, and I think that's us on a regular. And, you know, so her is, I mean, Nina Simone, definitely. Those are the three. And I mean, South African artists also have influenced me. If you think about your TK, who I used to really love. Who's this lady who used to be on Backstage? KB, I actually used to really like. She had some bangers. She had some bangers. Very underrated.
And I'm like, you guys don't see this woman.
Yeah. I mean, I used to listen. I'm like, okay, I see. And she wrote well as well. And obviously Lebo and Brenda. I mean, I grew up on Brenda with my mom, loving Brenda. So it's a few of those people who I admire.
That's really amazing. That's interesting. So what inspired the title Go album?
So many things. Yeah, because I struggle with decision making. I'm a Gemini.
I'm a Sag, but
Are you a Sag?
I'm a Sag.
I struggle. Maybe we have the same issue there, but like for me, I'm always like I can argue for anything.
Yeah.
You know, this works for my spirit. This works for my account money. This works for my love life, my love language. So you can argue almost anything about anything. And I think Goku is almost like the standing point that's like, well, whatever it is, you better say it now because time is gonna go. Yes.
I loved that line when I read it. Whatever you want to do, do it now.
Do it now.
Even if it changes next week, do it
now. And I think that chant is one that I needed in my 20s.
Yeah.
Because again, 20s, you also like fumbling the ball a lot. You're learning and as you're falling. And Goku was almost like, okay, cool. It's all still gonna happen.
Yeah.
You're still gonna fall. You're still gonna cry.
What happens now?
What happens now? What happens now? And I think we all can relate to that. The nowness of like our lives. Are we here? Where are we?
Are we present?
Yeah, we're present.
And we adore it for the most part. We're present, but we're present for others, not ourselves.
We love being present for others.
You're too worried. What is that person?
Yeah.
Why?
Who cares?
Who cares? They don't care.
And if nobody cares, why don't you do what you want to do?
Yes.
Why don't you just do what you want to do? Because nobody cares, right?
I was saying this year is my season and I'm owning it.
Absolutely, I love that.
Unapologetically,
Yes.
you know, just if you feel I haven't spoken to you in however long, it's okay. No hard feelings. Don't take it the wrong way. I just don't feel like talking at that moment with you. If like my friends video call me a lot and sometimes I'm like, I actually don't want to.
I don't have the energy.
I just leave it.
Yeah.
And I don't feel guilty.
Yeah.
Anymore.
Ooh.
I'll get back to you when I do. Just allow me the space, you know? And in the same breath, you realize that it's also how you have taught people to
Treat you.
You know, you give so much of yourself. So when you start taking away, someone needs to come with a bit of a notice so that people don't think like, oh,
you can just, yes.
Yeah. So just say, you know, just.
Yeah, 100%.
Let's move past this.
Let's move past this, and I still love you. It doesn't make you wrong. It doesn't make me wrong.
At all.
I'm not in this space right now. It's okay, sis. And I love you, and bye. But bye.
You know, and it's validating at the same time to realize there's a lot of people going through similar things that you're going through at the same time. You know? You spoke of love languages. What is your love language?
Acts of service. I like it when someone does something thoughtful.
Yeah.
It doesn't have to be expensive, but if it's something that will make my life easier, I feel like, okay, I see. But also communication, because I love words. I think we are in a generation of, and I always say to people, I love calls. People they like texting more than they like calls, but I like being able to hear you express how
it's a now thing.
Yes, it's
again. Now thing. I love
again.
It.
Yeah. So I want you to say it and say it with passion, you know.
Yeah.
And use your words. Like, don't just give me a meme and tell me this is what it means. Like, use your words. That's why I have a song called Verb.
Yeah.
And Verb is really like, you know, yes, there's a lot of words that people can say, but like, just do the doing words. Where are the doing words in your sentence? You know?
You're obsessed with words.
Yeah, I'm obsessed with words. Like, I'm obsessed with words. So, yeah, I think I'm losing my train of thought, but
your love language, acts of service.
Love language, acts of service, and communication.
Yeah.
Like, talk to me. Tell me what's up. Where are you? How do you feel? Do you want to leave? Do you want to stay? What's yours?
Especially, mine is, wow, how did I forget it? No, the first one is words of affirmation.
Yes.
And physical touch.
Okay.
And I'd say my third one is receiving gifts, but at this point I think it's music.
Okay, wow.
I was having a conversation with a friend the other day and he's like, no, music is a love language. And he sent me a song. He's like, listen to the song, it's going to warm your heart. And literally the first chorus, the first verse, I was like, wait, what? You know? He's like, yeah, music is a love language.
Absolutely.
Okay. But not everyone understands that.
You have to have that appreciation
For it. So then I asked, I'm like, have you ever shared a song that describes how you feel? Like, yeah, many a times, and I still do it. I was like, I stopped because people don't reciprocate.
Yeah, I mean, playlists.
what?
Remember back in the day, a boy would make you a playlist with like Neo and Omarion.
And tell me exactly what it's.
And you're like, okay, babe, and that would make you. That's enough. You don't have to buy me a damn thing.
Exactly.
But
now,
now
you do it, like, oh, so what do you mean? Oh, blue tick. I'm just like, hi, no, I'm done with this. It's rejection on another level.
It is because you're rejecting everything that I'm giving you because it's my creativity, it's the message, it's the thought. It's the thought.
So yeah, music is my third love language.
I hear you. I love that.
Physical touch and words of affirmation.
Yeah.
That's it. Yeah.
Yeah.
It's. I wish people could, and in all aspects, not just relationships, friendships, family, whatever the case, day-to-day engagement. If we can somewhat pick that up and understand it, we would live better together.
Absolutely.
There'll be such a better flow.
Absolutely.
There's
a way you're saying things.
There's a way of saying things, and then there's empathy.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
Do you think your love language changes based on who you're with, or as you grow, or does it stay the same?
I mean, I've heard people say that they have all of the love languages, like they understand them all.
Yeah.
But I think there is that one that, does it grow? I don't necessarily think it changes. I think I notice you because of the language. So it's not that I date you and then I figure out what your language is. I kind of feel like you approach me with that kind of language. And unfortunately, right, a lot of people will use that against you. When they know what you like, they will play that part for as long as they want to. Yeah.
It's so heartbreaking for that to happen.
Girl, it's so heartbreaking, and they use so I would say it won't I don't think it will change, but I do think that I'm starting now to just sort of let it be organic, like let it just happen, and then you see them in the little moments, like how they treat people or how they clean up after themselves. Like those are the thoughtful things where you're like, if I've cooked, it's a small thing, right?
Yeah.
Are you gonna help with the dishes at least?
Or you're just gonna sit?
Are you just gonna stand up and put it there? No. You see, like those little things, and I don't think it changes, but I do think it's becoming something I'm a little bit more guarded to show or reveal.
True. That is so interesting. So with that, I then hold back a lot. I think for the longest time. So, context.
Yeah.
I haven't dated in a long time. And I made a conscious decision that this year I'm ready to. And I feel it as well because I'm not as guarded anymore. And I'm like, I'm going to just give what I'm able to give. You receive it how you want. It's up to you. If you don't,
it's fine.
You're not
the only person.
Yeah, not meant to be with you. So with that, you learn that it's okay to protect parts of you, but don't intentionally hide it because that's what hurts you the most. Because then you just sit with your emotions. Because I don't want to give it to this one and this one because they're going to abuse it.
Absolutely.
But if you give it freely and just allow reciprocation to happen how it's supposed to, if they don't receive it, then it's fine. You let it go.
Absolutely. And I think that's a very brave chant that you have for your year to say, I'm going to allow love to happen.
Yeah.
Because I think even for me, and I also haven't dated in a long time, a lot of the time you're like, no, it's them, it's me, it's it's this. And it's really not being at the place where you're like, okay, I'll give what I can give.
Exactly.
Because you don't, it's a worth thing, right?
Yeah.
Can I give? Can I do all these things for someone else? Am I worthy? And then you think these guys don't like you, but the thing is, they can sense that you have a very, like weird relationship with self.
Yeah. So they'll play on that.
They'll play on that. So I think it's so brave that you said that you are going into it this year with the intention, because a lot of us are still afraid to even say those words out loud because disappointment slaps you like backhand. So where are we going?
What are you thinking?
Who called you there? Exactly.
So like no. So yeah. So that is my intention.
I love that.
And it took a while to get there. And when I say I haven't dated, I don't even know how people define dating anymore. It's very tricky. But I haven't been in a relationship
serious
since 2008.
Yeah, that's a long time.
So in between, it's like, okay, let's try.
And then
okay, and then you sit with that heartbreak of 5 months or however long for so long because you don't know how to heal or fix yourself. And so it's just like, no, I'm wasting time.
Yeah, you are. We all are.
I'm wasting time. Why am I saying I'm dwelling on that?
Yeah.
Go good now. I'm like, no. If you move, you move. I move too.
And I think there's such a standard to women, like we still have to have 5 months to heal, whereby this guy is on his third
The
girl.
next day he's done.
Date. I think we should think about dating differently. I think we should be in different places at once and just have an idea, because this concept of waiting, it destroys me.
What are we waiting for? And even in your waiting time, what are you doing?
Oh my gosh.
What are you doing? You're wasting away.
You're wasting away. Yeah, I love that. I love that for you.
Sure. Thank you. Draper, I wanted to ask you about Draper. How did you meet this human?
Oh my gosh.
I knew him as Tippy Dang. You're like,
He was Tippy Dang, now he's transformed. So we met very long, like 10 years ago.
Yeah.
At a party. A friend of mine was dating his friend. And literally we sat on the couch and laughed the whole night. He's so hilarious. And from then on, our friendship grew and grew. And obviously he gained strength in different like creative spaces. And I didn't necessarily like connect with him. It was only after I dropped Yankaza and I was really trying to do this thing where he was like, I've got a studio, why don't you come through? That's about 6 years ago.
Sure.
You know, and so I came through and it worked.
Wow.
Like we had such a great time at the studio. We trusted each other. We played, you know, vocally.
Yeah.
And he taught me a lot of stuff in terms of critique and in terms of just like saying, maybe if you think about it this way, you'll sing about it. So he's been very instrumental in just how I express my music.
Oh, yeah.
Because he doesn't buy things that are authentic in general. And I don't think anyone at Unmuted does, you know. So yeah, we've been friends for a while and he's a brilliant person in general.
Sure.
Yeah.
Powerful. When I saw him at the listening session, I was like, what? I haven't seen you in forever.
And he's featured on the album as well.
Yes, I heard. Listen, the moment that song came on, I was like, that's Draper.
Yep.
I know his. I'm like, that's definitely him. And it sounded so amazing.
And his new album, You're Gonna Die.
Oh, when is it coming out?
I think it's coming out in April. It's called Don't Be Dope. And this is a level of rapping that I don't think I've heard in a long time.
I'm ready.
I'll leave it there.
I am ready.
Yeah.
Tell the truth about what you want. Even if you change your mind later, just do it now. So I wrote here that I was literally screaming, live. That's all it says. Live. You know, especially 2022. I mean, the past 2 years have been insane.
Absolutely.
Insane. And all this thing does, this COVID thing, is cage you even more. You become more scared, you know. So even if you choose to just be in your own home, in your space, live. Do that as well.
Absolutely. I mean, there's so many influences now. When you are closed in, you're looking at your phone 24/7, right? And I think, like you're saying, we forget like to exercise the things that make us work.
Yeah.
Just work. Whether it be, I saw you where you're doing your yoga this morning, and I was like, that is such, you have a specific routine about how your life and we don't even see the sun go down.
No.
We don't even see it come up because we're on our phones.
On our phones the whole time.
We don't, and so our decisions are also impacted by what we are always listening to.
Yeah.
So that's why I said that you're gonna change your mind, but at least like do something that is not necessarily, that is more authentic to you. Like try it. Let's just see.
Yeah.
Because you waiting for it to look perfect, or you waiting for somebody to like it, or you waiting for somebody to validate it.
Yeah.
It may be validated, but you may be, like you said about identity, like you could be living for that instead of like really just getting to know yourself and saying, I'm cool, I'm fire, I'm good, I'll do this. I'm dope as hell.
What?
You know what I mean? And I mean, what's the
You're
point?
waiting for someone to tell you that. How will they know if you don't show them?
Even if they don't tell you, you've got to know it, you know? Exactly. And you know it by how you see your day go. You know it by how the decisions you make. You know it by the people who are around you. That's how you know who you are. That's how you know what you like.
Love it. Love it.
So yeah, live, guys, live and make mistakes. Make mistakes, please make mistakes.
I'm excited. I'm excited to hear the whole. Well, I briefly
You've kind of
heard it, but I want it here.
Yeah.
So I want to have my headsets on, have a young.
Oh yes.
You know.
Yeah. I'm not mad at
Sorry,
you there. I don't know what she's talking about. I think she's just talking about brushing her teeth.
I know my parents are gonna watch it. They watched my
Everything.
podcast. And it's that support. I love that support they give. I even featured them on one episode. Even though my
That's
dad
so
doesn't like
beautiful.
these things.
Really?
But then I featured them. They watch every single episode. My mom, from the moment it comes out, she's there. So it's amazing. But I want my headsets on. I want the music on blast. Chill outside, wherever, and just listen.
Yeah.
I had the 3 songs on repeat yesterday. I'm like,
That's so dope.
this is amazing.
That's so dope. And I really appreciate that.
And we need more. For me, we need more music like that from our local people. And it needs to become more commercial.
Yeah.
Do you understand?
Yeah.
Radio is so tricky right now that the specific station I was listening to, it's on repeat. The
old
thing,
songs.
And
Yeah.
I'm just like, I can't do this anymore. So even when I'm driving, I'm like, I don't want to hear
the radio
off.
Yeah.
And then I'll have my
own
playlist, and just share through with other people and get to create bigger circles of knowing more artists. So.
Yeah. And I think that's what Unmuted, like the label that I'm with now, which is Draper and them, like that's the whole thing, right? Is that some people are really good, they're just not getting the play. And so it's important that we do that for artists, because that's what we're not getting booked anyway because no one knows where your songs are.
Exactly.
Create a show, find people who can help you create a show, get your friends to come, get your family to come, and start something. Because if the songs are good, they're good, no matter what you do.
Yeah. No, we're on that this year. I was telling Draper, I'm booking you.
Oh, please.
I'm booking him.
Yes.
We're doing it.
Let's work together.
Let's work, and I like to connect worlds, and like I said, I featured Jasmine Sims the last time. She's an amazing poet. So I can already imagine you on a song with her.
Jasmine.
Bruh.
I'm gonna lose my mind right now.
Bruh.
Yeah. And I love that you love poetry. That's really cool.
Yes. I grew up on it. I used to watch P4CM poetry. And then there's this other one, a lady,
Alyssa Harris.
Yes.
What is it? Strivers Row, I think.
She also has That Girl.
I love that girl.
Bruh.
And I mean, that is such a raw
poem.
poem.
I thought of that poem this morning and I was like, what? And I'm like, yeah, that actually says a lot. Whatever time in your life, if you listen to that and you relate, it says so
a lot. She's amazing.
So I love poetry, man. I mean, people see it as very Christian-like, but even Def Jam poetry was dope. That's where Lisa Harris was.
Yes.
So it's a beautiful space to be in. Even if you don't know how to use words yourself, but you have people that can describe how you're feeling.
Absolutely.
You have your viewers with the music that can,
describe how you're feeling.
Yeah. So I'm excited. Thank you.
Thank you for having me.
It's exciting.
This was so fun.
Season 2. Yay!
I made season 2. Thank you so much for your time.
What should people look out for aside from the album launching?
Well, I mean, there's going to be a few more visuals coming out. I want to shoot at least 2 more videos. So that's in the pipeline now. A live show, definitely coming up with a live show with a whole band. Really excited about that.
Yeah.
And what else? I mean, I think it's really watching the songs live through people. I'm so excited to just hear the feedback because even with Rapture and Drifting, I got quite a few people who would DM me some really deep stuff, about how this song made. And that is like the prize for me. Yeah. So I'm excited to just get that feedback from people. And I mean, upwards and onwards. I hope, as things move, we start to book bigger places. We start to get to bigger stages and boom. Yeah, and boom,
That,
Yeah.
I'm excited for you.
Thank you.
I'm happy for you. And I'm proud of what you're doing and actually taking the step to just build yourself,
Absolutely.
We know Joburg is hard, but we do it anyway. We push anyway.
I don't know how.
This place.
This
place is a jungle, babes. I kept thinking back, 2008, this was happening. 2009, so I'm like, how
every year you're like,
survive?
But I think the beauty is that you hear and you're glowing and you're fine and you've learned.
You just didn't allow it to consume you.
You made them, it was hard, but we're here.
You made it.
You know?
made it.
Yeah.
I'm happy. Guys, thank you. Hope you enjoy. Check out Viwe. Her EP is out today, actually. When y'all are watching this, the EP will be out. The link is in the bio.
Can't wait.
listen to it, enjoy it, share with your friends, reminisce, write those little notes to your loved ones when you're listening to the song. Share what you need to share. Thank you very much. Don't forget to comment, like, and subscribe. See you.
Said it's too strong. You said you love me, but it's too strong. You got me crying over two strokes. Two strokes. Hey, hey, two strokes. You said you love me, but it's two strokes. You got me crying over two strokes. Two strokes. Hey, love, you came over for two. So tell me what to do. Tell me to get more than two.